The second stop of the Division I series of Bassmaster Opens takes us to Tombigbee River in Columbus, Mississippi. And boy, was it a blast from the past. 2004, the last time b.a.s.s. went to the Tombigbee River. We had an E50 and an Open that year. And 21 years later, boy, it was a fun, tight tournament. Welcome into the Bassmaster Studio, sponsored by Marathon. We've been joined all day by Mike Sucon and by Larry Nixon. And Larry, you were one of those anglers that fished the event 21 years ago. And we know how dirty, muddy river fishing can be. But boy, we saw a diversity of baits, and we saw some tight competition on the leaderboard throughout all of today.
Yes, we did, and we saw some very good fishing, too. These young men put on a show and throwing a buzz bait and a swim jig and cranking the rocks. And, you know, we had the river rat, Stephen Browning, out there. He did it all, and, no, great tournament, great tournament.
Such, this is a big deal. We're almost halfway through Division I now. Tombigbee marks the second of 4 events. So we got young anglers, old anglers, all vying to make that top 50.
Yeah, you got a lot of guys healthy in the Division II points. Our second event. Hey, we got all 3 days in, Ronnie Moore.
Absolutely.
And a very tight tournament. We haven't seen that in a little bit on the Bassmasters Elite Series this season.
A tight tournament indeed. Woo. Let's take you to the top 4 anglers who put on a show on Bassmaster Live throughout the final day coverage here at the Tombigbee River. Columbus Marina, that's the takeoff. We had Stephen Browning, Byron Kenny, Trey Schroeder, and Bo Thomas. Guys, from 10th to the top 5, Bo Thomas was one of our early movers, and he was throwing a buzz bait, catching a couple 4-pounders on that, Larry Nixon. He had a backwater pond to himself, pretty calm when that wind got up. He was protected, and he just did circle after circle and continued to adjust, mixing in a speed worm, mixing in a spinnerbait as well.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, there had been some bass in there spawning or something, because you'd see them little fry come up there and psh, they'd start doing this. And when you see that, you can't beat a buzz bait for big fish.
Bo Thomas from Michigan has made top 10s in Bassmaster Opens in years past, and boy, today he said, the camera has came to me quite a bit. That has to be a good thing, but now I'm a little worried that I might have a shot to win this Bassmaster Open. Tombigbee River is far from home, but he broke it down very well this week. Didn't try too many things, found an area, and spent his time fishing instead of running around. We mentioned it, a couple big ones on a buzz bait. Later in the day when it got slow, mixed in a spinnerbait, and this catch right here, a key one. Wasn't one of his giants, but a 2.5-pounder to cull out a 1-pounder. It's his third biggest fish of the day. That is the type of cull you want.
4-pounders went a long way this week, Ronnie Moore. He had several of them, day 2 and day 3.
Bo was chasing this man, Trey Schroeder, as was everyone else, our day 2 leader. The McKendree University alum was leading the pack by 1.5 pounds coming into the final day. Had been utilizing a water willow stretch of shallow grass in the back of a bay where also Russ Lane was fishing. First and second after the first 2 days were sharing water. Today did not pan out, Larry Nixon. Were you impressed with this young man and how he adjusted, catching fish here and there, but piecing together a final day?
I was, because his main area was gone. I mean, where that wind was blowing, they wouldn't bite them fish. They may have still been there, but they just don't like that wind blowing on them, and he worked hard and found little areas with just a little bit of shelter from that wind, and that's how he caught his fish.
A guy who chased a little bit of wind, but when it got too much, he had to run away and hide. Byron Kenny, if you didn't meet him last year at Lake Martin in our top 10, then you may be getting your first look at him today. The Georgia angler, former college angler at the University of Georgia. He's a champion through the college series, and about a decade later, he said it's time to test the waters of the Open, Such, and to see a couple top 10s. That's early success that you like to see for a younger angler overall, but at least one getting his feet wet in the Opens.
Overall, I think he's about 33 around. He had 2 solid, good days on this fishery.
This final day, he's been putting a swim jig to work. We saw some guys throwing a white and chartreuse swim jig and chatterbait, but Larry Nixon, black and blue for Byron Kenny all day.
Black and blue is just a great muddy watercolor. I don't care where you go, and if they're not biting white or chartreuse and white, throw black and blue. That's just my rule of thumb.
He started the day in 6th place, 26-11, about 3 pounds, 11 ounces behind Trey Schroeder. Had definitely a hill to climb, but did it early today. He's looking at maybe 3 straight days of 13-pound limits. Meanwhile, the OG river specialist, the original, who is so good, whether it's the Red River, Mississippi River. Such, if the name of the fishery has river at the end, Stephen Browning's on your short list, and he proved why today. Started the week with a frog and a chatterbait, switched it up to a crankbait and a chatterbait in a different pool, and he rode that momentum today and was fast out of the gate. Caught the most fish of anyone we saw.
Mr. Opens back in the day, won several Opens, and on rivers, Ronnie Moore. His son, Bo, made it to the elites last year through the EQs. Now he's trying to do it this year, get through our division, then go to the EQ tournaments in the fall.
What it would be for a father to fish a classic with his son, and that is a chance that Browning is willing to take with Bo in the elites and him in the opens. He was right there on the doorstep all day today. No hindsight regret for Stephen Browning. 10-5 on day 1. He only had 2.5 hours to fish. Last 2 days, he's maximized his time, and he's got 16+ pounds on day 2, and probably 14+ pounds, maybe 15 pounds today. Stephen Browning has had a hard charge into the top spot unofficially, and you couldn't ask for a tighter weigh-in for Hank Weldon to conduct at the Tombigbee River. 4, 5, 6 anglers all within a pound or 2 of each other. When the final whistle blew, we crowned a champion. A champion that has now punched his ticket to the Bassmaster Classic for 2026. Hank, take it away at the weigh-in.
Get up. We're going to put you over here. You're officially out of the hot seat, but you're still in the lead. All right, Columbus, you guys ready? We got a Bassmaster Classic spot on the line. We got $35,000 on the line and that first place trophy on the line. It is about to go down. He rolled out today in the lead out of Missouri. Come on up, Trey Schroeder. 4 in the bag, 30 pounds and 6 ounces, side-by-side, guys, side-by-side. These 4 need to go 11-15. If it's lighter than that, it is all yours. Looking for 11-15. 4 fish, 12 pounds and 6 ounces, and Trey Schroeder is going to take the trophy. People are shocked. And Trey Schroeder is going to be your champion. Trey, reach in here and hold these up with 4 bass worth 12 pounds and 6 ounces. Round of applause for Stephen Browning. Trey Schroeder's 3-day total of 42.12. He's shocked. He can't believe it. I don't think the crowd can believe it either. I told you guys we didn't know who was going to win this thing. Set him back in there. While the emotions are high, grab that really fast. Columbus, let's hear it for your champion. Trey Schroeder getting it done with 12-6 today. That is yours. You're headed out of here a champion. We're moving on to the Classic. Oh, boy.
I have no words, Hank.
You didn't think you had it.
No shot. I didn't think there was a chance. Man,
I've noticed these fish have weighed a little more than what you guys are calling them this week. And I've heard several times, oh, I was surprised with that. And I can promise you, these scales right here are calibrated, and they're exactly what they should weigh. But they've been a little bit thicker this week.
man, dude, when I caught that last 4-pounder, I think it was 4 pounds. I didn't weigh a fish today because I just knew if it was meant to be, it was meant to be. And man, when I didn't have 5 fish today, I was really starting to kick myself at about 1:30. And, I mean, we grinded it out to the last second. And, I mean, we caught that 4-pounder. I can see the mat that I caught him out of at 1 o'clock. And that was
the key.
The tournament.
I mean, you didn't even bring in a limit today. You had to have been thinking in the line what could have been, what should have been, and it still ended up working out.
Yes, sir.